preaching philosophy to make me mad. And thou shalt be canonized, Cardinal, for being not mad, but sensible of grief. My reasonable part produces reason, how I may be delivered of these woes, and teaches me to kill or hang myself. And Father Cardinal, I have heard you say that we shall see and know our friends in heaven. If that be true, I shall see my boy again. For never since the birth of Cain, the first male child, there was such a gracious creature born. But now sorrow, canker sorrow, will eat my bud and chase the native beauty from his cheek. And he'll be as hollow as a ghost. And so he'll die. And rising so again, when I shall meet him in the court of heaven, I shall not know him. Therefore, never behold my pretty Arthur more. Grief fills the room of my absent child. Lies in his bed, walks up and down with me, puts on his looks, repeats his words. Then have I reason to be fond of grief? Oh, Lord. My boy! My Arthur! My fair son!
My worthy lord, if ever Tamara were gracious in those princely eyes of thine, then hear me speak indifferently for all, and at my suit, sweet, pardon what has passed. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you, and on mine honor dare I undertake for good Lord Titus innocence in all, whose fury not dissembled speaks his griefs. Then at my suit look graciously on him. My lord, be ruled by me. Be won at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents. You are but newly planted in your throne, lest then the people and the patricians too, upon just survey, take Titus' part, yield at entreats. And then let me alone. I'll find a day to massacre them all and raise their faction and their family. The cruel father and his traitorous sons to whom I sued for my dear son's life, and make them know what 'tis to make a queen kneel in the streets and beg for grace in vain.
I do much wonder how one man, having seen how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after having laughed at such shallow follies in other, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. And such a man is Claudio. I have known when there was no music in him but the drum and the fife. And now he would rather hear the tabor and the pipe. I had known when he would have walked 10 miles afoot to see a good armor. And now will he lie 10 nights awake, carving the fashion of a new doublet. Man, he was wont to speak plain and to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier. And now is he turned orthography. His words are a very fantastical banquet, just so many strange dishes. May I be so converted to see with these eyes? Huh. I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be sworn, lest love may transform me into an oyster. But I'll take my oath on it. Till he hath made an oyster of me, he'll never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I'm well. Another is wise, yet I'm well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. Till all the graces be in one woman will not come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that's certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her. Fair, or I'll never look on her. Mild, or come not near me. Noble, or not I for an angel. Of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair shall be. But of what color pleases God? Ha! Yeah, here comes the prince and Monsieur Love. I'll hide me in the arbor.
The time was, Father, that you broke your word, when you were more endeared to it than now. In your own Percy, my heart's dear Harry, through many a northward look to see his father bring up his powers, but he did long in vain. Who then persuaded you to stay at home? There were 2 honors lost, yours and your son's. For yours, the God of heaven brighten it. For his, stuck upon him as the sun in the grey vault of heaven. By his light did all the chivalry of England move to do brave acts. It was indeed the glass wherein the noble youth did dress themselves. There were no legs that practised not his gait. Speaking thick, which nature made his blemish, became the accents of the valiant. For those who could speak low and tardily would turn their own affections to abuse to seem like him. So that in speech, in gait, in military rules, humors of blood, he was the mark and glass, copy and book that fashioned others. And him, oh wondrous him, oh miracle of men, him did you leave, second to none, unseconded by you, to look upon the hideous god of war. in disadvantage, to abide a field where nothing but the sound of Hotspur's name did seem defensible. So you left him. Never. Oh, never do his ghost the wrong to hold your honor more precise and nice with others than with him. Let them alone. Lord Mowbray and the Archbishop are strong. Had my sweet Harry had but half their numbers, today might I, hanging on Hotspur's neck, have talked of Monmouth's grave.
That Cassio loves her, I do well believe it. That she loves him, 'tis apt and of great credit. The more, howbeit that I endure him not, is of a constant loving noble nature, and I dare say, prove to Desdemona to be a most dear husband. Now I do love her too, not out of absolute lust, though peradventure I stand accountant for as great a sin, but partly led to die to my revenge. For I suspect the lusty Moor hath leapt into my seat, the thought whereof doth like a poisonous mineral gnaw my innards. And nothing can or shall content my soul till I am even with him. Wife for wife. Or failing so, yet that I at least put the Moor into a jealousy so strong that judgment cannot cure. But which thing to do? If this poor trash of Venice, whom I trace for his quick hunting, stand the putting on, I'll have our Michael Cassio on the hip. Abuse him to the more in the right garb, for I fear Cassio with my night cape too. Make the Moor thank me, love me, and reward me for making him egregiously an ass, and practicing upon his peace and quiet even to madness. 'Tis here, but yet confused. Knavery's plain face is never seen till used.
There is a willow, grows aslant the brook, that shows his hoar leaves on a glassy stream. Therewith fantastic garlands did she make, of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples, that liberal shepherds do give a grosser name, but our cold maids do, dead men fingers, call them. There on the pendant boughs her coronet weeds clamoring to hang. An envious sliver broke, when down the weeping trophies and herself fell into the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide and murmured like a while they bore her up, which in time she chanted snatches of old tunes like one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued into that element. But long it could not be, till her garments, heavy with her drink, pulled the poor wretch out of her melodious lay to muddy death.
But here comes Anthony. Oh, I am sick and sullen. Help me away, dear Charmaine. I shall... Oh, it cannot be thus long now. The sides of nature will not sustain it. Pray you, stand farther from me. I know by that same eye there's some good news. What? Says the married woman you may go? Would she have never given you leave to come? Let her not say 'tis I that keep you here. I have no power upon you. Hers you are. Oh, never was a queen so mightily betrayed, but at the first I saw the treasons planted. How can I think that you can be mine in true, though you in swearing shake the throned gods who have been false to Fulvia? Righteous madness to be entangled with those mouth-made vows that break themselves in swearing. Nay, pray you seek no color in your going, but bid farewell and go. When you sued staying, then was the time for words. No going then. Eternity was in our lips and eyes. Bliss our brows bent. None our part so poor, but was a race of heaven. It is so still. Or thou, the greatest soldier in the world, art turned the greatest liar. I would I had thy inches. Thou shouldst know there was a heart in Egypt.
All is lost. This foul Egyptian hath betrayed me. My fleet hath yielded to the foe, and yonder they cast their caps and carouse together, like friends long lost. Triple-turned whore, 'tis thou hast sold me to this novice, and my heart makes only wars on thee. Bid them all fly, for when I am revenged upon my charm, I have done all. Bid them all fly. Be gone. Oh, son, thy uprise shall I see no more. Fortune and Antony part here. Even here do we shake hands. All come to this. The hearts that spanieled me at heels, to whom their wishes I did grant. Do discandy melt their sweets on blossoming Caesar? And this pine is bark that overtop them all. Betrayed I am. Oh, this foul soul of Egypt.
We are amazed, and thus long have we stood to watch the fearful bending of thy knee, because we thought ourselves thy lawful king. And if we be, how dare they joins forget to pay their awful duty to our presence? If we be not, show us the hand of God that hath dismissed us from our stewardship. For well we know no hand of blood and bone can grip the sacred handle of our scepter, unless he do profane, steal, or usurp. And though you think that all, as you have done, have torn their souls by turning them from us, and we are barren and bereft of friends, yet know, my master, God omnipotent, is mustering in his clouds on our behalf armies of pestilence, and they shall strike your children yet unborn and unbegot, that lift your vassal hands against my head and threat the glory of my precious crown. Tell Bolingbroke, for yon methinks he stands, that every stride he makes upon my land is dangerous treason. He is come to open the purple testament of bleeding war, but ere the crown he looks for live in peace, 10,000 bloody crowns of mother sons shall ill become the flower of England's face, change the complexion of her maid pale peace to scarlet indignation and bedew her pastures grass with faithful English blood.
Oh, and I, forsooth, in love! I that have been love's whip, a very beetle to a humorous sigh, a critic, nay, a night-watch constable, a domineering pedant o'er the boy, than whom no mortal so magnificent. This wimpled, whining, purblind, wayward boy, this senior, junior, giant dwarf, Dan Cupid, regent of love rhymes, lord of folded arms, the anointed sovereign of sighs and groans, liege of all loiterers and malcontents, tread prince of plackets, king of codpieces, sole imperator and great general of trotting parators. Oh, my little heart, and I to be a corporal of his field, and wear his colors like a tumbler's hoop? What? I love, I sue, I seek a wife. A woman that is like a German clock, still a repairing, ever out of frame, and never going aright, being a watch. But being watched that it may still go right, nay, to be perjured, which is worst of all, and among three to love the worst of all, a whitely wanton, the velvet brow, with two pitch balls stuck in her face for eyes. Aye! And by heaven, one that would do the deed, though Argus were her eunuch and her guard. And I to sigh for her, to watch for her, to pray for her? Go to! It is a plague that Cupid will impose for my neglect of his almighty, dreadful little might. Well, I will love, write, sigh, pray, sue, groan. Some men must love, my lady, and some Joan.
Yet here's a spot
damn spot. Out, I say. One, two. Why then 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord. Fie. A soldier in a beard. When we reappear, who knows it when nothing call our powers to account. Yet who'd have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him? The Thane of Five had a wife. Where is she now? Will these hands never be clean? More of that, my lord. And more of that. You mar with all the starting.